Letters on Practical Subjects to a Daughter, William B. Sprague. Preface. The following letters were originally designed to be preserved in a manuscript as a legacy to a motherless child. The circumstances which have resulted in their being given to the world it is unnecessary to state. It has been the design of the writer to adapt the work in its present form to the various exigencies of a young female, and to furnish her with counsel and instruction which may be useful, not only during the period of her education, but also in subsequent life. Though the letters are addressed to his own child, he regards her as the representative of young females in general, and his object in writing them will be fully answered if they shall contribute in the humblest degree to elevate the standard of female acquisition and female character. The author has only to add his earnest prayer that they may be read with some degree of advantage by young females into whose hands they may fall, and especially by those whom the righteous providence of God has deprived of the benefit of maternal care and instruction. Letter 1, Introductory. My dear child, it is for the heart of the parent alone adequately to conceive of the tender responsibilities that belong to the parental relation. It is impossible, if he have any feelings of a man, much more of a Christian, that he should contemplate a beloved child coming forth into life and beginning a career for eternity without agitating in his own bosom the question what the probable condition of that child may be in the future stages of existence. And if I mistake not, there are some special reasons why the solicitude of a parent should be awakened by contemplating the condition of a daughter during the critical period to which I have referred. In addition to all the other circumstances which render her an object of deep interest, in which she shares in common with children of the other sex, she is, in a higher degree than they, dependent on parental aid. There is a sort of natural defenselessness in her condition, independently of the fostering care of those from whom, under God, she received her being, that makes an appeal to a parent's heart, which, if it be not a heart of stone, he will strive in vain to resist. If I should say that the common feelings of parental solicitude have something to do in dictating the plan of addressing the following letters to you, I should certainly tell you the truth, but not the whole truth. For your circumstances, though by no means peculiar to yourself, have been preeminently fitted to give you a high place not only in the affections but the sympathies of your father. It was my lot, in the wise but mysterious providence of God, to see your mother taken from you at an age when you were incapable of estimating her affection or your loss, and to find myself at the same moment looking for the last time on the cold remains of a beloved wife and listening to the unconscious but piercing cries of a motherless child. While I shall always remember that moment with emotions not to be told, I can never fail to connect with it a recollection of the goodness of God in ordering so favorably the circumstances of your infancy, and in giving you in due time another mother who counts it a privilege to do her utmost to make you good and useful and happy. You will instantly perceive that the circumstances to which I have now adverted could hardly fail to awaken a deep and permanent interest in a father's heart, and I assure you they have had much to do in bringing me to the resolution to write these following letters. That you may be the better prepared to estimate the importance of the various topics to which I intend in these letters to direct your attention, I beg you to remember that what you are at the age of 18 or 20, you will probably be, making due allowance for change of circumstances in every future period of life. In other words, your character will, by that time, in all probability, have acquired a fixed direction, a direction which will last through all the scenes of your prosperity and adversity to your dying hour, which will influence and control all of your prospects as it respects comfort, respectability, and usefulness here, and which will go further and shed upon your prospects for a future world the brightness of immortal glory or the blackness of endless despair. I admit there are many exceptions from this remark, but I appeal to the records of human experience. I appeal to the observation of any individual who has been accustomed carefully to notice the facts on this subject. Whether the general truth be not as above stated, that in the great majority of cases the character of a young female at the close of her education is formed for life, of course formed for eternity. I am sure this consideration cannot fail if you duly estimate it to give deep interest to every effort, and especially every parental effort, that is made to lead you to virtue and happiness. I am aware that much has been written on the subjects upon which I am to address you, and with a degree of ability to which I can make no claim. Nevertheless, I am constrained to say that most of the books with which I am acquainted, designed for the special benefit of young females, have seemed to me either deficient in some important topic of instruction, or to contain views on some other points from which an intelligent Christian parent would be compelled to dissent. Far be it from me to intimate that I expect in these letters to supply all the deficiencies, or correct all the mistakes of those who have gone before me. I only promise that the views which I communicate shall be such as, after mature reflection, and I trust I may add earnest prayer, appear to me to be consistent with reason, experience, and Scripture. I have no ambition to say anything that shall appear new or striking, but my whole object is to give you plain parental advice on topics which do not lose their importance with their novelty. It is a thought upon which I dwell with some interest, that though you might read the writings of a stranger with indifference, you will pursue these letters with attention and perhaps advantage, when the heart that dictates them shall have ceased to beat, and when the hand by which they are penned shall have mouldered into the dust. I hardly need to tell you that my first wish and most fervent prayer on your behalf is that you may remember your Creator in the days of your youth. Unless you embrace the gospel as a rendering and purifying system, in other words, unless you become a practical follower of Jesus Christ, it would profit you nothing in the end. Though you should have every other accomplishment which can adorn your character or recommend you to the world, in the progress of these letters I shall dwell on the subject of practical religion with some degree of particularity, and I wish you distinctly to remember, while I am directing your attention to other subjects, that they are all subordinate to this. To see you walking in the truth and keeping the commandments of God will more than anything else gladden the heart of your affectionate Father.